Hello everyone and thanks for joining. So in this particular video we are going to do one end-to-end PySpark related project. So many people were asking me to create one end-to-end PySpark related project. So we have come up with this. So the agenda of this particular video is like, first we will try to understand the business requirements. So how actually we get in a real time. Here also we have a business requirement. So first we will try to understand the requirement. Then we will try to understand the KPI. So there are several KPI which we have, which the business has requested. So first we will try to understand the KPI, and then we will try to understand the data set, and then we will go for the practical, and then we will see how actually we can create a visualization. So at the end you will be able to see this kind of the dashboard. We also will create in a Databricks itself. After doing all the cleaning and processing in a PySpark, we will create this kind of the dashboard. You can see this is the dashboard which we have created, and here we are showing all the kind of the KPI. Okay, so before starting the project, if you are new in this particular channel, please do like, please do support, so that the more videos like this I will try to upload. Okay, so let us start with the project. Okay, so first let us try to understand the business requirement. So our business requirement is like, clients have a data that is available in a CSV format and that is not in a proper format. Okay, for taking example, I have a two data set. Okay, so this is the one data set, this is a customer related data set, and if you will see, there is no column available. Okay, so we have a column related details also given, but as of now the data is available like this. Okay, there is no any header or something is given. Okay, so this is the customer data we have, and this is the menu data we have. Okay, now what business wants, like they want to grow a business. For that, first we have to clean our data to process, and then we have to build certain KPI. We have a two data set, one is customer and that is second is a product related data set. Okay, now let us try to understand what kind of the KPI which the business wants to track. Okay, they want to track how many total amount is spent by each customer. Okay, that is the first customer. What is the total amount is spent by each category, food category? What is the total amount sales in each month? Yearly sale, quarterly sales, monthly sale, everything we had to calculate. But if you see in this data, right, there is no monthly, quarterly given, only one date is given. Based on that we have to derive the quarterly, yearly, monthly, all the kind of the thing we will see. Okay, we have to derive top 5 order item, top order item, frequency on which customer is visiting, total sales by each country, total sales by the order source, everything we have to build it. Okay, and the data set already has shown you, right? So let us start with the practical. So okay, once you will open the Databricks, this is a community.cloud.databricks.com, and this is a free. So for project or for learning perspective you can use this. Okay, so what is the first thing we have to do? First you have to go into this compute option, click on this compute. Okay, click on the create compute. Okay, and after that you have to give the compute name. So we will give the compute name as a PySpark project something. Okay, you can give any name. Okay, and you can see it is providing the free 15 GB memory, and it will be automatically terminated after an hour. Okay, so but we are going to use that. Okay, click on the create compute. After that your cluster will be created. Okay, so this is in progress. Okay, till then what we will do, we have to click on this create button, click on the notebook. Okay, once you click on the notebook, right, now here you can write like PySpark project. This is the notebook we are going to create, PySpark project sales analysis. Okay, so this is the project we are going to do. Okay, and this is the notebook where we will do all the kind of the activity. Now you can see here it is showing me the Python, so we are using the Python for the PySpark, and here you can see it is still in a connect, right, and this PySpark project which we have created, so we will select that, so that computation we will create. Once it will be ready, it's still not ready, that's why it is showing the starting. Once it will be ready, we will be able to use that and we will be able to execute our code. Okay, now let us start loading our data. So what you have to do, you have to go into this data, click on this data, and let us try to add that particular file. Click on the create table, go to the data, click on the create table, and click on the draw files to upload. Okay, so this is the sales.csv file we have, so I'll select that. Once you will upload that, okay, you can see this is the particular file where actually it got loaded. Okay, so we will select that. So note down this particular location. Okay, now again you have to go into the recent. Okay, go to the recent, and this is the particular file which we have created just now, right, PySpark sales analysis, and we will note down the location. So this location is for the sales analysis. Okay, but we also have one of more files. So again we will go to the data option, click on the create table. Now we will upload a second file. So click on the browse, click on the second option, that is a menu.csv. so menu.csv got loaded into this particular file. Okay, so I got the file location. So I will again go to the recent, click on the recent and click on the file on which you are working, PySpark project sales analysis, right? So I got the second location for the menu file. So this is the file we have loaded into this particular dbfs location. Okay, now what is our next thing? We had to create a data frame. Okay, so let us create a sales data frame. Let's create. Okay, so how actually you can create a data frame in a PySpark? Let us try to learn. We know like where actually our data is available. Okay, so for that what we will do, and if you see in the data, right, in the data, if I will show you, there is no column which is available. Okay, so column also you have to define, and we have information about the column, like for the customer data it will contain the product ID, customer ID, order date, location and the source order. So this all the column you only have to define. Okay, so for that what we will do, first we will try to import some library. Okay, first we will try to import some library. How actually we can do that? So what I will write, from PySpark. Okay, let me zoom it so that you can also see. From PySpark.sql.types, you also do along with me so that it will be better. Okay, and so that you will not be having any doubt. Import, and we are going to import some library which is available, struct type. This struct type we will use to create the schema. Okay, struct field. Okay, and also we will use a integer type, because we have to define integer type or the string type, right? So all the kind of the library we will try to import that. We will also use the string type, and also we have a date type. So date type also we will use. Okay, so what we have done, we have inserted one library, struct type, structure field, and integer type, string type and the data type. So for that actually we will use to define a schema. Okay, this is nothing but a struct. Okay, struct field. Okay, now after that what you have to do, we will try to define our schema, how actually our schema will look like. So for that you have to write schema. Now we are going to define a schema. Okay, so what you have to write, struct. So we will use a struct type. Okay, so with that only we will try to define our schema. Struct type, open a bracket, close a bracket. Okay, struct type, after that open a bracket, close a bracket, in a list. After that we will use a struct field. What we will use? Struct field. So use that struct field, and after that we will define the schema. So what is our first column? First column is the product ID. Okay, means in our data, first column is nothing but this is all the product ID. So we are defining the product ID, and this is nothing but a integer type. Okay, and after that we will use a true, so that it will avoid the null value. Okay, so this you have to use, and after integer type, open a bracket, close a bracket. Okay, so like this you have to define a schema for all. Okay, so what I will do, I will just do a copy paste, and I will add the other schema. Okay, let me add multiple time, because we have a 5 column, right? Okay, so let me add that. First column is a product ID, so that we have defined. What is second column? Second column is a customer ID. Okay, third column is a order date, location and source order. Order date, you also do along with me so that it will be better. Order date, location and the source order. Okay, so this is the schema we have defined. Now let us try to read that. How actually we can read that? First let me try to execute. Let's see if any error comes. Okay, it is running, you can see, right? It is saying like struct type is not defined, so T will be the capital, that you have to remember, struct type. Okay, now let me execute. Integer type. Okay, this is the typing mistake, it is a integer type. Let me execute that. Okay, now it is working fine. Now let us try to create a data frame. So what we will do, we will try to define one sales data frame, and how actually we can read our CSV file. Spark.read.format what is our file format? CSV, right? So we will write CSV, okay, and then option, we will give some option like infer schema equal to the true. What we will give? Infer schema is true, okay, true, and then we will give dot schema, we'll pass the schema. What is our schema? Schema we have defined, right? So what we are saying, the schema should be like this, okay, and then dot load, and which particular file, which particular location our file is there. So this is the particular location, right? Our file is there, so I will just copy this and then load it, okay. Once you will do that, your after that we will use a display df to see our data frame, okay. Now let me execute. Let's see how actually our data frame looks like. Okay, it should be sales df, so display sales df. Let me execute that. Okay, now you should be able to see your data with all the columns. Okay, now you can see you have a product ID, you have a customer ID, order, date, location, source order. It is giving me error because the customer ID is not integer, it is a string type. So we have to give properly, right, everything. So let me give that customer ID is in string type and the order date should be in a date type. That we have done a mistake. Okay, why I am doing this all the mistakes, so that you will learn like how actually we have to debug also, okay. So that you have to remember, because debugging is a must, okay. Once you will be able to debug, then only you will be able to learn, okay. So why we are getting this all the kind of error, that you have to learn it, okay. And so product ID is integer type, customer ID is string type, order date is date type, location is string type, source order is string type, that we have defined. Now let me execute. Now let us see whether you are getting a data or not. Now you can see we are getting a data properly, because we have defined properly all the schema. If you will not define that properly, then you will get error, okay. So this is the one data frame which we have a product ID, customer ID, order date, location, and the source order. Now let us try to create more, okay. There is one more location. If you will see in the requirement, right, we have a requirement where we have to calculate the yearly sales, quarterly sales, and the monthly sales, but as of now we only have a date format, okay. So now let us see how actually you can add from this particular order date, how actually you can derive a year, how actually you can derive a month, and how actually you can derive a quarter. That's we will see, okay. So what we will do, now we are going to do a adding year, month, quarter from, okay, or you can say deriving. So we are going to derive, okay. So how actually you can derive that? For that we have one library you have to import, okay. PySpark .sql .types or functions, okay. You have to import month, year, or quarter, okay. This you have to import month, year, and the quarter we are importing from this particular library. And after that we will use sales df, and we will use a sales df. Let me copy this, sales df dot with column. We are going to add a new column, okay, because there should be one more column, so that we will be able to easily derive the monthly matrix, okay. We are deriving first the order year. So why we use a with column? With the help of with column you can add a new column based on the certain logic. So what actually we are giving, we are creating one new column, order year, with the condition of a year. Under this year we will pass a sales df dot our order date, okay. So what actually we are using this year, okay. This is the particular function we are using to convert this order date into the year format, okay. And we are creating with the help of with column, order year, new column we are creating, okay. Now let me execute and let me show you the data. It should be able to add the new column, okay. So if I show you display df, sales df, you will be able to see this is the order year which got derived from the order date. You can see if the order date year is 2023, so order year only will contain the 2023. If it is a 2022, it will contain the 2022. Okay, similarly we will do it for the month or the quarter also. Okay, so let me copy this. So what you have to do, instead of the month you have to pass the year, you have to pass the month. Okay, and we will use a quarter also. Quarter. Okay, and this is the same. We will use order month, and we will use a order quarter. Okay, now if I will show you display df, there should be 2 more columns should be added. You can see order month got added. If order month is 1, then it is showing 1. If it is a 2, then it will show 2. If it is a 3, it will show 3, like that. Similarly for the quarter, for each month the quarter is actually it is deriving. If it is a January to March, it will show the 1. If it is after that, then it will show the each quarter. Okay, so based on the date actually we are deriving. You can see it is a November, right? So it is showing me the quarter 4. Okay. Now after that what we will do, we also have one more data frame which we have to create. Okay, so for that let us try to derive one more, that is a menu data frame. A menu data frame we are going to derive. A menu data frame. We had a 2 file, right? One file is for the all the customer related and second is for the all the menu related, right? So we will try to create a for that also. If I show you the data will look like this. Okay, this is a product ID, this is a product name, and this is the price. So this kind of the information we have. So for that we will also create a data frame. So what you have to do, go here, copy this, okay, copy this first, and we only have a 3 columns, so I will use 3 column. Okay, and here we have a product ID, we have a product name, so change this to product name. Okay, and change this into the price. Okay, change into the price. Okay, and use the integer type. Okay, and this is the what is the new data frame we are going to create. We are going to create a menu data frame, so I will write the menu here, and it will be the same, and the location you have to change it. So go to the location. This was the location where we have loaded the file, right? So I will select that, come here. Okay, use that. Okay, now let us try to see whether it's working fine or not, and we will try to display the menu data frame. Okay, let me execute and let's see whether it's working fine or not. Okay, so let me give the price string type only. Okay, as of now. Okay, and let me execute this. Okay, so now we are getting product ID, product name, and the price. Okay, maybe there is some mistake in a price, that's why it's coming, but it's fine. Okay, with that we are fine. Okay, if any error come, we will try to convert it. Okay, that we will see in a later. Okay, now we have a menu data frame, we have a sales data frame. Okay, now let us try to derive all the KPI. We have loaded the data and we have to derive each KPI one by one. So let us try to do that. Okay, now let us see how actually we can derive each matrix, each KPI. Okay, so what actually I have done, I have just added all the headings here so that we don't have to look all the times the document. So this all the KPI we have to derive with the help of the PySpark. So we have a 2 data frame. One is the sales data frame and the second is the menu data frame. Okay, what is our first KPI? Let us try to understand. Okay, total amount is spent by each customer. Total amount is spent by each customer. Okay, so where actually we have a customer related information, you can see customer ID we have. Okay, and the amount spent, that is nothing but the price information we have in a menu data frame. Okay, so what actually we have to do, if we have to calculate the total sum of the price which each customer has done, okay, invested. Okay, so for that what we will do, first we have to join these 2 data frame. So how actually we can join, we have a product ID here and here we have a product ID. Okay, so first we will try to join both data frame, and we will try to calculate the sum of price, and we will try to group based on the customer. Okay, so what is our question is like total amount spent by each customer. Okay, so each customer, what is the sum of the price they are spending. Okay, so that actually we have to define. Okay, so let us try to solve how actually we can do that. Total amount spent. Okay, so this is the one we are going to do. So what actually we will do, we will try to join. Okay, so sales df dot join menu df. Okay, so sales df we are joining with the menu df. Okay, and based on what actually we are joining based on the product ID, because product ID is common between the two data frame. Okay, you can see in this data frame also we have a product ID in a sales data frame, and in the menu data frame also we have a product ID. So what we are writing, sales df dot join menu data frame and the product ID. Okay, that you have to write, and after that what we will do, we will try to group based on the customer ID. Okay, so what we will use, dot group by customer ID, right? So because the customer information is there in customer ID column, we have group by customer ID, and we have to calculate the aggregate. Aggregate means the sum of the price we have to calculate, right? So write dot aggregate, and after that use curly braces. Okay, and in the curly braces you have to write price. Price is a column. Okay, and what we have to calculate, we have to calculate the sum of the price, right? We have to calculate the sum of the price, so semicolon and the sum. Okay, now let me show you again what we are doing. We are calculating total amount spent by each customer, means sum of the price, and we have to group based on the customer. Okay, so what we are doing, first we are joining with the sales data frame with the menu data frame based on the product ID. I think this is the joining condition. Okay, now after that I am writing group by a customer ID. Based on the customer ID I am just grouping. Okay, dot aggregate means sum of the price we have to calculate. So how actually we can write dot ag, the ag means the aggregate. Okay, bracket, curly braces, price, colon, and the sum. Okay, once you will do that, okay, now after that okay, now if you want to do order, okay, so suppose if I write order by dot order by customer ID. Okay, order by customer ID. Okay, now if I'll execute this, how actually we can see that? Let me use a display df. Display df. You can use a total amount spent dot show also, that will also work. Okay, I am just using a display total amount spent. Now if I'll execute, let's see if any error comes. You can see the customer A, he is spending this much. Customer B, he is spending this much. Customer C is spending this much. Customer D is spending this much. Customer E is spending this much. So this actually we are calculating total amount spent by each customer. Now if you want to have a certain visualization, so how actually you can add a visualization, let us see. Click on the plus, click on the visualization. Okay, now in the visualization type, right, we have a multiple visualization. Let me select the area 1. Okay, area 1 I have selected. Go to the data label, click on the show data label. Okay, so all the number will also be shown. Okay, and click on the save. Okay, now you can see A spent this much, B spent this much, C spent this much, D spent this much, E spent this much. So this is how actually we have to do. Okay, our next KPI is like total amount spent by each food category. So this will be the about to the similar only. What we will do, we will try to calculate the sum of the price based on the product name. Okay, product ID, for first we have to join both, because one customer can order multiple product, right? So for that first we have to join based on the product ID, and then we have to calculate the sum of the price, and we have to do a grouping based on the product name. Okay, similar to this only. So let me try to copy this, and in a grouping we have to use a product name instead of the grouping customer ID. We have to use a product name. Okay, and you can do order by a product name. Okay, Now if I'll execute this, you can see biryani this much sales, chow mein this much sales, sandwich this much sales. Now if you want to add a visualization, click here. Okay, go to the color, you can change the color, let's make it green, and go to the data label and click on the show data label and click on the save. Okay, so this is how actually we can do that. Third question, total amount of the sales in each month. Total amount of sales in the each month. Okay, where actually we have a total sales information in the menu data frame. Okay, where actually we have a month related information, we have created order month, right, in a sales data frame. So first we have to join both the data frame and we have to group based on the month and we have to calculate the sum of the price like the similar way. Okay, like the similar what we have done in the first, right? Okay, here also we have to do the same. Okay, so how actually we have to do, let me copy this or let me do this here. Okay, let me give this name as a df1. Okay, df1. Okay, so what we are doing, first we will join the sales data frame with the menu data frame. Based on the product ID we are grouping based on the order month. Okay, based on the order month we have to group. Okay, and we have to calculate the sum of the price. Okay, and order by is not required. Okay, that is fine. Okay, now if I will execute display df, if I will do, you can see based on the each month actually it is showing me. Based on the each month actually it is showing me. If you want to do order by order month, now if I will execute, it will show month like 1 2 3 4 based on the month how many sales is happening. Now if you want to create a visualization, click on this plus visualization and we will create one bar chart. Click on the bar chart, you can see month over month how the sales is happening. Click on the data label, click on the show data label and you can see all the numbers. Okay, this was simple, right? Similar what we have done. Now you can see on the first month this many sales, second month this many sales, third month this many sales, fourth month we don't have any sales, that's why it is showing like this. Okay, now yearly sales. Okay, if you have to find out the yearly sales, this is also same like above. Instead of the order month, what we have to use, order year. Order year, how the year by year sales is happening. Okay, so what we will use, instead of the month we will use the order year. Okay, and let me do that. Okay, now let me execute this. Let's give this a df2. Now let's see how year by year actually sales is happening. Okay, you can see 2022 we had a 4350, but 2023 we have a 9990. Okay, now if you have to create a visualization, okay, click on the visualization and let's create a line chart. Okay, and data labels, let's add that. Now you can see we have a in 2022 and 2023 this many sales is happening. Okay, that is how actually you can show that. Okay, and click on the save, you will be able to see on the line chart how the sales is happening. Okay, now similar to this quarterly, if you want to find out, so we have already defined one quarter month, right? So instead of the order month you can write order quarter. Okay, and how the quarterly wise sales is happening, let us see that. Okay, now you can see first quarter we had a 66600, in the second quarter this much, third quarter this much, fourth quarter this much. Okay, now if you want to create a visualization, click on the visualization and let us try to create one pie chart. Now you can see all with the percentage wise also. The first quarter 46% we have sales. Okay, now this is the graph, we will show it. Okay, our next KPI is how many times each product has been purchased. Okay, so for taking example, suppose we have a sandwich, it was purchased like 50 times. Okay, so we have to show 50. Okay, like 50 order which has been happened. Okay, suppose pizza which has been ordered 20 times, so we have to show the 20. Okay, so for that what we have to do, how actually we can calculate this matrix. So first we have to join the two table, because the customer related information we have in a CS data frame and the product name related information we have here. So what we will do, first we will try to join and we will try to calculate the count of the product ID. Okay, that is how actually we are going to do. Okay, if we have to calculate the count of the product ID, so for that you have to first import one library. Okay, if you want to use the count function, right, so for that you have to import one library. So let us try to see how actually we can import that from PySpark.SQL.function. Okay, you have to import count. Okay, now let us see how actually we can derive that. Okay, after that we will define a data frame. So I am defining a master df. Okay, so try to understand, this is the tricky one. Okay, so what actually we are going to do, we are going to join first two table. Okay, says df dot join menu df, based on which first we will try to join based on the product ID. Okay, this is a simple, right? First we are trying to join this. Okay, now after that what we will do, we will try to find out the group by, grouping based on the product ID and the product name. Dot group by product ID and the product name. Okay, product name. Okay, now after that we are going to use a count function. Okay, so what we will write, dot count. Okay, what actually we are counting. Okay, this count will come under the aggregate only. So first dot ag count. Okay, under this count you have to write, we are going to count based on the product ID. Okay, product ID. Okay, and we are giving this name as a dot alias product count. Product count. Okay, so what we are going to do, or what we are doing, okay, so we are counting a product ID, how many times this product has been ordered, and this count, right, we are giving the name as a product count. Okay, and we are grouping based on the product ID and the product name. Okay, I hope this much is clear. Okay, after that what we will do, we will try to do a ordering. Okay, so that you will be having a based on the order by order count. Okay, based on the product count only we will do a ordering. So we have given the name as a product count, right? So based on that only we are trying to do that order. Okay, and we are going to ordering from a in a descending order. So for descending order, what you can write, ascending equal to the 0. If you write ascending equal to the 0 means it will do that. Okay, now if I will execute this, let me execute this. So what is the value we are getting? Display most df. Okay, this is the tricky one, so let's try to understand. Okay, you can see the sandwich, right, which order most of the time. Sandwich is the first, then the chowmein, then pizza, then the dosa, biryani, and the pasta. Okay, corresponding the product ID also we have. So what actually, how actually we want to show, we want to show product name and the product count only. Okay, so after that what I will use, so I will use a dot drop and the product ID I will try to drop it, product ID. Okay, now if I will execute, you can see the sandwich which was ordered 48 times, then the chowmein, then pizza, then the dosa, then the biryani, then the pasta. Okay, now if you want to show in the visualization, click on the visualization. Okay, let's try to show in the form of the funnel so that it will be better. Okay, let us try that at least, different things. Okay, now you can see sandwich which was ordered most of the time, so that's why it is taking 100%, and based on the sandwich actually it is comparing the chowmein, pizza, how actually it is happening. Okay, you can see the sandwich is the 100% sale, after that chowmein sales compared to the sandwich is the 50%. Okay, so like that actually it is showing. Okay, let me click this, and now this is the graph we have showed. Okay, so how many time each product which has been purchased. Okay, our next KPI is also similar. The next KPI is saying like top 5 order. This already we calculated, right? If you want to calculate the top 5 order item, so what you have to do, dot limit, you have to write the 5. Okay, if you write the dot limit 5, it will show the top 5 order item. Okay, that is fine, but we want to calculate the top order item. Okay, so if you have to calculate the top order item, so what you have to write, the same query, same thing, you have to write limit 1. Okay, if you will show the limit 1, it will show the what is the most order product item. So that is the sandwich. So click on the visualization. Let's create one, this one. Okay, and we will also show the product name. Okay, this is the most order item. Okay, so that actually we will highlight. You can see sandwich is the most order item. Okay, now the next KPI is frequency of the customer visited to the restaurant. Visited to restaurant. Okay, what is the frequency the people are visiting to the restaurant? That actually we have to calculate, and this is the tricky one. Okay, so what actually we have to do? Okay, so we have a source like 3 things. Okay, so either the people are ordering from a Zomato, either the people are ordering from the restaurant or the Swiggy. Okay, so what is the frequency the people are visiting the restaurant? That actually we have to calculate. Okay, so what we will do, first we will try to do a filtering based on the source order. The source order should be a restaurant. Okay, so that is the first thing. And what actually we will do, what is the frequency, like count of the distinct order date. Okay, count of the distinct order date, and we will try to group based on the customer ID. Okay, what is the frequency each customer is visiting? Okay, so count of the distinct order date, and we will try to group based on the customer ID, and we will try to filter the source order is the restaurant. So that is the thing we have to calculate. Okay, how actually we can do that? Let us try to see. What is the frequency the customer are visiting to the restaurant? So that is the KPI we have to calculate. Okay, so for this also we have to calculate the distinct order ID, right? So for that, what we will use, we have to import one library that is a distinct. Okay, so let us see how actually we can import that. Count of distinct. Okay, count of distinct, this one you can see. Now we have to use a sales data frame. Okay, so df equal to the sales data frame. Okay, and what we will do, we will first try to filter. How actually you can do a filter? We have to do a filtering the source order equal to the restaurant. So what I will use, sales df dot filter, sales df dot source order. Source order is nothing but that is the column where the Swiggy, Zomato or the restaurant is coming. So source order equal to the restaurant we have to filter. So that is the first thing. So all the restaurant related information we have. Okay, now after that what we will do, we will try to group. Okay, we will try to group based on the customer ID. So we will use a group by customer ID, and when actually count of the distinct we have to calculate count of the distinct order date. Okay, dot add, and we have to use a count of a distinct. Okay, and you have to pass the order date. Okay, order date. Okay, how frequently the customer are visiting to the restaurant, that actually KPI we have. For that we are using that. Okay, now if I will show you, if I will use a display df, okay, now you can see. Okay, you can see A visited 6 times, E visited 5 times, B visited 6 times, D visited 1 time, C visited the 3 times. Okay, so that is the frequency. Okay, if you want to calculate the visualization, click here, and we will change the color. Let us make the color this color, and let's add a show data labels. Okay, and click on the save. Okay, so this is the one. Now we have to calculate the total sales by each country. Okay, total sales by each country. Okay, so this is similar to the above, right? How we have calculated. Okay, total sales by each country if you have to calculate. So what we will do, we will try to group based on the country. Okay, first we have to join both the data frame and then we have to group based on the country. Okay, so what I will use, first I am trying to join with the sales data frame menu data frame, and I will try to group based on the location. Okay, and we have to calculate the sum of the sales, total sales. Okay, now if I will execute this, order by is not required. Okay, now if I will execute this, you can see India total sales is this much, USA this much, UK this much. Okay, now how actually we will show, let us try to show in the like this. Data label we will add, colors we will add, let's add some other color. Okay, and click on the save. Okay, now similar to this, what is the total sales by order source? So we have order source, right? Swiggy, restaurant, Zomato, how actually order is happening based on the each source. So what we will use, instead of the group by, we will use the source order. Okay, now if I will execute this, you can see Zomato 4920 sales, Swiggy this much sales, restaurant this much sales. Okay, if I click on the visualization, let us try to see in the form of the pie chart, and you can see 34.3% is from the Zomato, 41% is from the Swiggy only. Okay, so this kind of the information we are getting. Now we have calculated all the KPI. Now let us see how actually we can create a dashboard. Okay, so what you have to do, you have to click on this file. Okay, click on the new dashboard. Once you will click on the new dashboard, right, you can see this is the dashboard which we can create. Okay, so what we will write, sales analysis dashboard. Okay, or we will write just sales analysis. Okay, sales analysis we have written here. Now you can see all the query whatever you have executed, right, it is showing here. Okay, we only want to show all the visualization only. Okay, so for that what we will do, let me cut this all thing. Okay, let me cut this. We will only show the visualization one. Okay, and let's see how actually we can order it properly so that our dashboard will look good. Okay, and let me delete all the things. Okay, let me delete this, delete this, delete this, delete this. Okay, so what is this? This is our first KPI, right? So but here actually it is not showing the header. Okay, if you want to add a header, okay, what was our first KPI? First KPI was total amount spent by each customer. Okay, this all the customer we have and they are spent. Okay, so click on this setting, show title, add the here. Okay, so this we have added. Similarly for the second, total amount spent by each food category, this also header we will add. Okay, let me add a header for all first. Okay, now if you want to show it properly, let's add here. Okay, or adjustment we will do later. Okay, adjustment we will do later. So first let us try to add all the header. Okay, this is the third KPI, right? So what was this? Is the monthly sales. Okay, this is the monthly sales. Okay, so this we will add, and this is the yearly sales. So let me add this yearly sales. Okay, and this is the quarterly sales. Okay, so what we will write, quarterly sales. Okay, and this one is like top order items. Okay, this is the top order items. Okay, and this will give us a top product. Okay, this is the top product. Okay, and this one we will remove, Okay, so this is what this is the based on the order date. Okay, count of the distinct order means the frequency of the customer visited. This is nothing but how many times the frequency the customer is visiting. So I will write that, cut this, and this is the based on the location, top sales by the each country and the order source. So I will write the header for this also. And similarly for this also. By source. Okay, once you add this, right, you can see in the right side we have a layout option, float and the stack. So if you click on the float, right, you can adjust your this. So this actually we want to show on the top, so I will just drag this onto the top. Okay, and let me add like this. Okay, so this will be the heading, like what is the top product. Okay, you can see our top product is a sandwich. Okay, now we will, after that we will show each and every matrix. Okay, now we will try to adjust each and every matrix. Okay, so this was the first. Now let's add the monthly sales here. Okay, now if you want to add the yearly sales, just drag it. Okay, monthly sales. Okay, now let's add the quarterly sales also. Okay, and what we have a frequency of the customer visited, this also we have, so that also we will add here. Okay, let's adjust it properly. Okay, this all we have added, and this top frequency of order, right, and we also have top sales by the each country. Let's add this also. This is the top sales by the each country, and this is the top order item. Okay, so okay, so this is the top order item. You can see the sandwich is the top order item. Okay, so this is the dashboard we have created. Now if I will click on the present dashboard, you can see we have a top product, that is a 48 sandwich, and after that all the KPI we can see and we can track that. And whenever you will run the a notebook, right, this all the numbers will be updated automatically. So that is how actually we can do that. Okay, I hope you got it, like how actually we can create a dashboard and how actually we can adjust. Okay, yeah, that's it in this video. Thank you.